For every swing, every moment, the Milwaukee Brewers fight. It's not just about hitting the ball, it's about leaving a legacy.
What's up, Brew Crew? It's your guy, back with the hottest news and the deepest analysis on our Milwaukee Brewers. Welcome back to the channel, the official meeting spot for the entire Blue and Gold Nation. Before we dive into the topic that's keeping many fans up at night, I need to ask for that special favor that helps me continue bringing exclusive content to you. If you love the Brewers as much as I do and want to stay in the loop with inside information and serious analysis, please subscribe to the channel right now. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Your support is the fuel that keeps this space alive and relevant. I'm counting on you. Now let's get down to business. We are living through a historic moment, my friends. The 2025 season is unfolding like a dream, one of those campaigns we'll be telling our kids and grandkids about. As I record this video, we have a spectacular record of 91 wins and 59 losses. With just 12 games left, we are on the verge of breaking the franchise's all-time wins record of 96, set back in 2011. To tie it, we just need a simple 5-7 finish. If we play .500 ball 6-6, we'll write a new golden page in team history. It's something to be proud of, to celebrate with every pitch, every hit at American Family Field. The atmosphere is one of euphoria, of optimism, a feeling that something big is coming in the postseason. And at the center of this overwhelming success, there's one name that shines brighter than all the rest: Freddie Peralta. What Peralta is doing in 2025 is simply magical, worthy of a Cy Young award. At 29 years old, he has reached a level of dominance that places him among the elite pitchers in Major League Baseball. The numbers don't lie, and they tell a story of pure excellence. In 30 starts, he has amassed a record of 16 wins and only 6 losses, with a minuscule 2.69 ERA. In 163, 2 innings pitched, he's racked up 185 strikeouts, maintaining an impressive ratio of nearly 3 strikeouts for every walk issued, 63. His WWAR, wins above replacement, is at 5.2, which in layman's terms means he alone has been responsible for more than 5 wins than an average replacement level pitcher would provide. He's not just an ace, he is the ace. And the best part, the cherry on top for our front office, is his contract. Peralta is on one of the most team-friendly deals in all of baseball. Signed way back when, a 5-year, $15.5 million contract that included 2 club options for 2025 and 2026, each valued at around $8 million. For 2026, picking up that $8 million option is, without a shadow of a doubt, the easiest and most obvious decision our general manager, Matt Arnold, will make all offseason. Keeping a Cy Young caliber pitcher for a salary that barely pays for a middle reliever today is an absolute gift. Anyone with a basic understanding of baseball knows this is a no-brainer. So, what's the problem? Where's the controversy that prompted this video? The issue, my dear friends of the Brew Crew, is not if we'll exercise the option. The issue is what happens after. And that's where the Milwaukee Brewers philosophy, our small market reality, comes into play in a way that is relentless and often painful for us fans. We have a pattern, a well-documented history of making the tough calls. We trade our stars a year too early rather than a year too late. We do it to maximize the return, to keep our talent pipeline flowing, ensuring the team remains competitive for the long haul. We saw it happen with our former closer, Josh Hader. We saw it with Corbin Burns, who was dealt before his final contract year. We saw it with Willie Adames, who hit free agency last offseason without an extension. And more recently, we saw it with our all-star closer, Devin Williams. The front office's logic is cold but strategic. It's better to get a package of high-level prospects who can form the core of the 2027, 2028, and 2029 teams than to keep a player for one more season and only receive a compensatory draft pick in return. And that is precisely why Freddie Peralta's name is already buzzing behind the scenes and in sports columns across the country. Reporter Tim Kelly of Bleacher Report summed up the situation perfectly in a recent piece, where he pointed out that Matt Arnold's biggest decision isn't about the 2026 option, but what to do next. The question hanging in the Milwaukee air is, will Freddie Peralta be the next star to leave town? Are we going to trade our hero at the peak of his performance right after a historic season? That is the dilemma our front office faces, and the decision they make will define the franchise's direction for years to come. Analyzing this coldly as a GM would, trading Freddie Peralta this offseason makes perfect sense from a business and asset management perspective. His value has never been higher. We're talking about a 29-year-old pitcher in his physical and technical prime, performing at a Cy Young level, and most importantly, on an extremely cheap one-year contract, the $8 million for 2026. A package like that on the trade market is pure gold. Teams desperate for an ace for a championship run would be willing to give up their top prospects. We can imagine a return that includes 2 or 3 top 100 players in MLB. Think of a young catcher with an all-star potential, an outfielder who is nearly MLB ready, and a promising young arm for the rotation. A trade of that caliber could restock our farm system for half a decade. It would hand the keys to the rotation to the young talent we already have, like Jacob Misiorowski and Quinn Priester, accelerating their development and creating payroll flexibility. Furthermore, this decision becomes even more complex when we consider the situation of another pillar of our rotation, Brandon Woodruff, who is set to be a free agent. If the front office believes they can't re-sign Woodruff, the temptation to sell high on Peralta to rebuild a rotation with young, controllable talent becomes immense. The rumors that swirled near this year's trade deadline weren't just smoke. They were a preview of the difficult conversations happening right now in the offices at American Family Field. On the other hand, there's the heart, the passion, and the logic of competition. How do you justify to the clubhouse and to the fan base, the Brew Crew, trading your best pitcher after a season that could end with 97 or 98 wins? We would have a clear World Series window open for 2026. Keeping Peralta, maybe even managing to re-sign Woodruff, and adding a few pieces would position us as one of the absolute favorites in the National League. Trading Peralta would be like ripping the heart out of the team. It would send a clear message to players like William Contreras, Sal Frelick, and Jackson Chourio that no matter how much they win, the front office will always prioritize the future over the present. This could undermine morale and the winning culture that was so hard to build. And there's the risk on the other side. What happens if we keep Peralta? He could get injured in 2026. His performance could regress. If that happens, his trade value plummets, and we lose him at the end of the season for much less. It's a high-risk, high-reward gamble. The Milwaukee front office is at a strategic crossroads. The path of small market logic points to a painful trade that ensures long-term sustainability. The path of ambition and the dream of a title points to keeping the star, going all in for 2026, and dealing with the consequences later. And to add another layer of complexity, reports are emerging that another key player, one with a $22.5 million salary, is interested in a contract extension to stay in Milwaukee. If the front office commits to a contract of that size, does that make a Peralta trade more or less likely? Does it signal a shift in philosophy, a willingness to spend more? Or on the contrary, does it make it even more necessary to shed future payroll, making Freddie's exit almost a certainty? Every move is interconnected, forming a giant puzzle that Matt Arnold must solve. So what's my final analysis? Picking up Peralta's $8 million option is the first, easiest step. The monumental decision is what comes next. Our franchise's history and the cold logic of asset management for a team like ours strongly suggest a trade this offseason. It's the move the small market playbook tells you to make. However, the heart, the soul of his record-breaking team, and the passion of us fans scream to keep him. They scream to give this group a chance to fight for a World Series. Trading your ace after a 96-plus win season feels like a betrayal of the magical moment we're living. This is, without a doubt, the toughest decision our front office has faced in years. And that's why I want to hear from you, the Brew Crew. What should Matt Arnold do? Do you trade Freddie Peralta this offseason for a haul of prospects and trust the long-term process? Or do you keep our ace, go all in for a championship in 2026, and risk losing him for much less later? There is no easy answer. Leave your opinions in the comments below. I want to read every single one of them. This story is going to unfold all winter long, and I'll be here covering every angle, every rumor, with the fastest updates and the deepest analysis. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss a thing. This is your #1 source for all things Milwaukee Brewers. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Brewers!